やめろ!
Yuichiro also admires Yoichi's courage. Yuichiro returned to fight the vampire. The vampire catches Yuichiro and then took him jumping out the window. They fell into the bushes, and Yuichiro tried their best to resist the vampire attack with his sword. At the crucial moment, the vampire's body was stabbed in the back. Apparently the desert came with its team. The desert eradicated the vampire very easily. The desert said that it was impossible fighting vampires with unspelled swords. In the meantime, Yuichiro said the desert interfered with his actions. He also asked to join the desert squad, but the desert said that the main condition was Yuichiro had to get a friend. Desert doesn't like people who move alone without teamwork. That's when Sanoa said that the desert itself can at least work with the team. Shortly after Yoichi get to the bottom, he was so happy to see Yoichiro alive. He ran and hugged Yuichiro until he collapsed. Sanoa also said to the desert that Yuichiro already has friends, so that the desert must keep its promise. In the meantime, Yuichiro fell unconscious. Every time he closes his eyes, he always sees the figure of Michaela and everything else. Michaela said that she was very happy because Yuichiro already has a friend. He asks Yuichiro to protect all his friends. When Yoichiro comes to his senses, he's already in Ux. There are also Yoichi and Sanoa. That time, Sanoa informed that the desert had received Yuichiro. Yoichi is also accepted into the Demon Slayer squad, and their adventure really began. The next day, Yamanaka and his two friends left to a forbidden room at school. They intend to open a door, but suddenly Yamanaka decided they had to go. Yuji, one of them, suddenly as if welcomed in the room. The door was opened. In the meantime, on the roof of the school, Yuichiro was encountered by the chick he saved from vampires yesterday. The girl thanked him and expressed her feelings. After that he left. Like the girl, Sanoa appeared and met Yuichiro. She said that training for the vampire extermination squad is about to begin. Yuichiro will soon get what he's been wanting. Sanoa shows objects that look like keys, then things. It turns into a huge black shadow that forms a demon. Apparently, an army of vampire hunters will enter into a contract with demons in order to become stronger. In an instant, the devil turned into a sickle-shaped weapon. Yuichiro also asks Sanoa, "Show you how to use it." Yuichiro takes out his sword and then advancing against Shinoa. They attacked each other and looked very balanced. Until Yuichiro finally bounced back, while the Shinoa issue ranged attacks. Yuichiro was desperately resisting the strong attack. She managed to hold out until the attack was over, and immediately praised how powerful the weapon was. They take a walk in the school corridors, and shortly after that Yoichi came to see them. Following Yoichi, Yamanaka came with his friend. Yamanaka said that Yuji entered the forbidden room at the school, and it hasn't come out until now. Sanoa also scolded their behavior. It turned out that the room was a vampire exterminator training ground. Only an army of vampire exterminators can enter that room, or the person whose heart summoned by the devil, because the Juji is not an army of vampire exterminators. Then it is certain that the child was summoned by the devil. Yuichiro immediately ran to the room. Sanoa and Yoichi also rushed to follow him. When I got there, Yuichiro opened the door and walked into the room. He saw various weapons stuck on the floor. In the middle of that room, there's a Juji holding a giant axe, and Yuichiro also said that he wanted to have the weapon. Yuichiro immediately ran and faced Yuuji. They collide attacks without hurting each other.
その斧よこせー